We're going to be talking through section 4.1, plotting points on a coordinate plane. Before we actually get to plotting points, we're going to talk about some vocabulary. So we're going to start with the vocabulary term quadrant. A quadrant is one of 4 regions of a coordinate plane. So if we take our coordinate plane and we look at our axes, okay, the origin and our axes separate our coordinate plane into 4 separate quadrants. Quad, you should know, means 4. So we actually start in the upper right corner with quadrant number 1. This is where our x term is positive and our y term is positive. The quadrants are numbered counterclockwise. So in the upper left corner is where you're going to see quadrant 2. This is where our our x values are negative and our y values are positive. Down in the lower left we find quadrant 3. This is where our x values are negative and our y values are also negative. And quadrant 4 is where we find our positive x values and negative y values. Okay, so let's remind ourselves of some of the other vocabulary we talked about with our x and y tables. Our x is also known as our input. Our y is also known as our output. X will be associated with the word domain, because the domain was our set of inputs, and y was our range. When we are looking at a point given to us in a set of parentheses, the first term is our x value, and the second term is our y value. Our x goes horizontally, our y goes vertically. And one other term that I forgot from just above that I would like to add into the mix, you should all know, but the point 0, 0 is also known as our origin. Alright, let's look at the first example. So first example takes us through naming some points in a coordinate plane. If I look at point A, moving from my origin, I move to the left 3 places, so my x value, because this is my x-axis, is negative 3. 1, 2, 3. And my y value, I move up 1, 2, 3, 4, because I'm moving up. That's going to be a positive 4 on my y-axis. So I use these two kind of as my guides. For point B, starting at my origin, I move to the right 2, so my x value is going to be positive 2. I move down 1, 2, 3, so my y value is negative 3. Point C, I move to the left or right 0. It is actually sitting on my y-axis. So because I move to left or right 0, that's going to be my x-coordinate. I move up 1, 2, so on my y-axis it hits at the point 2. For letter D, starting at my origin, I move to the right 1, 2, 3. So I have a positive 3 as my x-coordinate, and up 1 for my y-coordinate. Finally, point E, I'm moving to the left 2 places, so I'm going to be, my x-coordinate is negative 2, and I'm moving down 3 places, my y-coordinate is negative 3. Just a quick question. What is the y-coordinate of any point on the x-axis? Go ahead and find the x-axis. Your x-axis is right here. So if I want to take a couple of points, let's just pick a few. Let's say I want that one, and this one, and this one. So let's think about what the coordinates of that point are. Well, I'm moving to the left 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is negative 8, and then I'm moving up or down 0. This point here is negative 1, 2, 3, negative 3, 0, and this one would be positive 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, the point 7, 0. So the question was, what is the y coordinate, that's these, of any point on the x-axis? And the answer is 0. Likewise, any point that would be found on your y-axis would have an x-coordinate of 0. The next thing we're going to do is plot the point and then describe the location. When we're talking about describe the location, I'm referencing our quadrants and also our axes. So let's plot our first point. Negative 4, positive 4. Negative 4 is our x term, means I'm going to go to the left, 1, 2, 3, 4. And with a positive 4, I'm going to move up 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to label this point A. And remember, this was quadrant 1, this was quadrant 2, this was 3, and this was 4. So I would say that this is located in quadrant 2. Point B, positive 3, 1, 2, 3, negative 2, 1, 2. We're going to label that point B, and we're going to say that that is located in quadrant 4. 0, that means I move to the left or right, 0. Negative 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's point C, and that is not located, well, it's located between quadrant 3 and 4, but it's not located in either of those two quadrants. Hopefully you remember that this is your y-axis, so that is where it's located, on your y-axis. Point D, positive 2, positive 5. That's located in quadrant 1. Point E, negative 1, and then up or down 0. So point E would be right here. And that is located on my x-axis. Finally, point F, negative 5, positive 3. Point F is going to be right there. And that is located in quadrant 2. The last example that we're going to cover today should be familiar because we discussed something very similar to this when we talked about with the domain and the range in Chapter 1. So what I'm asking you to do is graph the function y equals 2x minus 1 with the given domain. Domain is negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, and 2, and then identify the range of the function. Here are your x values. I plugged them into a table. Just a reminder, what we're going to do is we're going to take the 2, plug that in, and then we are going to be taking whatever we believe x is, plugging it in for x, and then subtracting 1. That's coming from right here. So you can see the first point we would get is negative 2, negative 5. I've plotted that point already. Next one, I would do 2 times negative 1 minus 1. 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. Minus 1 is negative 3. So I'm going to plot the point negative 1, negative 3. Negative 1, 1, 2, negative 3. If I plug in 0, 2 times 0 minus 1 is negative 1. So 0, left or right, and down, negative 1. 2, 1, minus 1. So 2 times 1 is 2, minus 1 is a positive 1. Positive 1, positive 1. Our last point is 2 times 2 minus 1, or 4 minus 1, which would give us 3. The point 2, 3. So I've done the first part. I've graphed that function. Now I need to identify the range. Hopefully everybody remembers our range. We're going to give a capital R with a colon and then solution set. We're going to say that our range, which is our set of y values, well, I have a y value here at negative 5. I have another y value here at negative 3. My next one is at negative 1. My next y value is here at positive 1. And then my last one is at a positive 3. This should also match up with your y values that you've listed in your table.